All right, hey folks, let's check our signal, see if we're live, and then we'll get some work done today. So mic check, 1, 2, 3. Work done today. Yeah, that sounds really rich. Cool. I've got my deep, sultry voice going, which means I'm probably not well rested. So let's take that into account for anything I have to say and be generous with each other today. There and there. Okay, cool. So let's see. I'm doing some social media posting here. I should probably go ahead and introduce myself. Hey, my name is Phil Kearney. What's up? We create role-playing games, illustrate them, and we publish them online. And I am currently creating an adventure for the Eberron campaign setting in Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. It's called Crystals of Mabar, as you can see here on screen. It's for 4 to 5 characters, level 7 to 8. You're basically fighting necromancers, monsters, undead, and stuff in the Carnwood of Karnath on the continent of Corvair. And I myself, I've been running D&D campaigns since 1987. I've been a freelance illustrator since 1999. I've been an Eberron enthusiast since 2005, and I've been creating content on the DMsGuild for 5th edition since 2017. So, but this is the first time I've actually published my own adventure, and boy, these things are just a monster, dude. Alternate rules and player options is just basically an alphabetical list of ideas. An adventure really just has a ton of components that all have to work together to make it work properly. You have to have the frame of the adventure, like the story work, so that you know what, like, so it's fun and cool and it's stuff that people want to engage with. And then there's the actual maps to traverse and explore during the adventure. And then there's all the mechanical, technical bits, like the monster stat blocks, and like what can be seen in a room, and environmental conditions, hazards, traps, threats, and treasure that is distributed throughout an area. That all needs to be put in a space that is connected with each other, that flows naturally in the progression where characters are probably going to actually like move physically through the adventure. So all those things have to be aligned together to make the structure of an adventure on pages work. And that's a really interesting challenge. So that's what we've been doing here. If you're interested in this type of work, I'm on the X Twitter platform at Phil Kearney, where I post when I go live, illustrations, works in progress, and other look-sees. And here on YouTube, thanks a lot for showing up. Like, subscribe, hit the bell icon for notifications when I'm live in the future. I've got 348 episodes here, and all of which you can see in the full creator playlist here. You can jump into my Discord channel, where I'll be doing playtesting for the Martial Power System on either Mondays or Saturdays. Show up and help to determine when we're at and participate if you wish. And then here's a slew of books that we've created previously that are also on the DMsGuild. So I'm going to take this book cover we created back around episode 40. Let's peel this out of the way. We're looking at plot hooks today. So there's 6 different plot hooks in the adventure, and these are the different sources, or like the leads or your contact during the adventure that provides you resources, information, and objectives, and provides you with rewards if you're successful. So we're going to actually have those step aside for the moment. We're going to pull open, what are we looking at? Page 1 to 7. Blip. Okay, so we have filigree and backgrounds that we're working on. I'm going to duplicate these layers into a new document. Okay. And we're going to save, and let's save as to the computer. Kyber, Crystals of Mabar, and we're looking at PDF. Let's go with art, and then where's my production? Thank you. Production, and this is going to be Appendix 3. So we're going to call this. I'm going to take page 1 to 7 and push it aside for the moment. And we're going to go back into here, and let's go to art, crystals of Mabar. We've got Appendix 3, which is 14 pages. 15 pages. And we're going to extract all of these PDFs, or all these separate pages in the PDF into separate PSD files. Click. So we're going to see a bunch of pages pop open. Probably going to make my computer cry a little bit. But this is so you can see we have a transparent background with a bunch of pages. What is going on here? There we go. Page 15. Something feels off. Let's check this out. That doesn't seem right. Appendix 3. Art. Yeah, that doesn't seem right at all. Okay, let's 14, 15. God, that just doesn't feel right at all. There's something wrong going on. So I need to redo this. Let's get rid of all of these. Damn it. Let's get rid of the pages. I'm gonna have to just redo this thing, apparently. Something got missed. So this is we're doing construction today. What we're going to do is we're taking all these PDFs and we're dropping them into a new PSD file so we can start painting on things. And Appendix 3 is alternate plot hooks and options for the adventure that can be added in. But something didn't go right. So let's go over here. Let's pluck this out of the way. Let's go down to here. Let's grab Crystals of Mabar, layouts. Peel open the actual Word document. Let's go back to where we once was. What page is this? Page 103. Oh, I missed a page. That's why. Okay. So it should be, what, 88 to 103? It's page 82 to 103. That's why I was flawed. Okay, cool. So let's export as a PDF into Appendix 3, and our options is page 82 to 103. So this is a 21-page document that we're creating. This is the back end of the 103 pages. The appendix is 21 of them. So, and then we've got the first 14 pages figured out at this point. So 14, 31, so 43 out of 103 pages are resolved at this point. So we're making progress on the document, and we just keep pushing forward in pages and layout and design work off screen, and then on screen here in the mornings like this, we start dropping in artwork and messing around with the pages and stuff to actually build out the visual representation. So check, and here, and let's hit publish, and yes, let's replace the document. It's gonna kick out a PDF for us with a blank background. Thank you, and see there, and then all the way up to Emerald Claw NPCs. That's weird. So what page is this? page 4. Come on, man. Give me something. Thank you. Page 7 of... Right. Page 7 through 22. Okay. So, apparently I did that wrong. We're here on Appendix 3. That's page 8. Okay, so it's 88. So that's 13 pages. Trying to make this shit work. 88 through 103, right? You gonna update, dude? I'm waiting for my page here to update to get a read on what page I'm actually on. There it is. Thank you. Stubborn. 88 to 103 is what I wanted, not 82. So let's try that again. Export. Create PDF. Here. I'm having a morning, guys. There's just, my world is off today. 103. Here, and then get rid of the properties and structure tags. Replace. And if everything happens the way it's supposed to. Cool, Appendix 3, and it goes down to Creatures Unleashed. Perfect, okay, cool. Now we got that sorted out officially. 88 to 103. So now we can come back into here and we can open and we go to Appendix 3 and it spits out 16 pages. Let's go back up here just to make sure. Cool. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Yeah, this all reads good. And then we'll peel open a bunch of pages. Now we're going to do some cut and pasting. Oh, this is going to make my computer cry, I can tell already. 13, 14, 15, 16. Sixteen, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, nice, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. This is how I build all my books. So I use Word for the page construction, and then I import them as a PDF into Photoshop to paint on the page, and then I extract it and drop it back into Word once it's completed. So this is page 3 here. So we're going to copy all of that, and we're going to come back into this document here. We're going to close up this here, paste, and call this page 88. Grab this one. I'm going to copy back to here. 87. Drop this out of the way. No. Pull this back. Copy. 86. that. Copy. This only takes a few minutes to do. 85. I'm doing it backwards. 103. 102. 101. 100. Nope. I don't really know what I'm going to work on until I jump on stream and work on it. Otherwise, I probably would have had this done ahead of time. I wouldn't have bored you with this process, but this is part of, this is making the sausage. So let's show you everything. Click, click, click. So we're almost done. Seven. No. 96. No. That's going to be 95. 94. Do that. 93. 92. 91. 90. 89. And last page. So 103. Apparently I did these backwards after all. 102. 1. Combining alternate plot hooks, false identities. 100. Here's something interesting to look at. Artifacts of the Plains. So the Eye of Mabar is simply just one of the many artifacts that you can be obtained in creating a manifest zone. So if you wanted to use the Eye of Mabar is an artifact created from the material of Mabar that creates a link to the Plane of Darkness, and I'm going to go 95, 94. And so if you know the proper rituals and you have possession of the artifact, you can create a manifest zone and then a portal to the other plane of existence that the manifest zone is manifesting. And that is just one of 13 potential artifacts that can become the theme of a campaign. And so here's a bunch of different artifacts that are related to each plane of origin that are in the Eberron campaign setting. So, and then we have the Eye of Abara would be number 13, but you already have possession of that one through this adventure for you to then, if you wanted to, collect additional artifacts to create additional planar rifts that would allow, in the case of the Gatekeepers plot hook, if you wanted to become an agent of the Gatekeepers, then they could have you going out and collecting these artifacts for them. The Gatekeepers basically guard the gate to other planes of existence. They keep other planes from creating havoc in our world. So them having control of all these different artifacts that was created is a pretty good idea for them to be able to make sure that things like what happened in this adventure don't happen again with other planes of existence. So now that we have these all stacked up, I can hit save. And let's see, let's get this out of the way. Now we can go back and we can peel open the hook patrons. And down to here. So you can see we have alternate plot hooks. While the adventure above is described from the perspective that the characters are deputized by the regional sheriff, there are 5 alternate plot hooks that can lead the characters into the adventure with different goals, resources, and rewards provided to the characters as detailed below. I can clean up that language, but I keep cleaning up the language whenever I work on pages. So that's why the process takes a while, because as I put in the artwork and I read the words, I can sculpt the words to better match the artwork that we're putting in the page to make the whole product a little bit more unified and self-referential. So whether the DM chooses to use an alternate plot hook or not, they are presented in an order to provide a more in-depth narrative and motive for the NPCs that the characters can encounter during the adventure. See, combining plot hooks below for suggestions how the adventure can be further modified. So if you're aware of, if you read these plot hooks and you stick with just the generic plot hook being deputized and helping the village, if you have all the information that's provided in each of these alternate plot hooks, you're getting perspective from different organizations that are interested in what's happening here. And if they were to send a team in to deal with it, these would be their objectives and the resources that we'd have, which the characters can encounter as rival adventuring groups during the adventure if you want to increase the amount of challenges in it. And they would have different goals, they would have different information and motives, and if your team can unite or interrogate these different groups, they can have more information themselves during the adventure to make decisions with. So we have alternate plot hooks for these guys. Here are the hook patrons that we created for each of them. This is the generic. We worked on this yesterday. This is just the sheriff. When we originally structured the adventure, we just had the different locations, and then we had notes about, while you're in this area, here's how the different plot hooks respond to it. But this became really hand-holding and very micromanaged. So we ended up deciding it'd be just better to reorganize, and this was how Stuart Braz, our editor, really, really just shone through in his skill and organization of information. It's like, why don't we just structure everything so that it gives you all the information that you need about the region, but then divorce that specifically from any plot hook. We can just go with, not divorce it, but let's just pick one generic plot hook, and we went with deputized to be the default adventure. That'll lead you through every piece of it with no information at all, so that when you go in, you're gathering information total. So plot hook, the plot hook. So this became the default plot hook, and this is 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then this became 5. So plot hook 5, family and friends, has the next to least amount of information. So when we restructured it, it made sense that the most ignorant presentation creates the most information needed inside each section. So if your characters show up not knowing anything, each area of the adventure that's described needs to provide all the information that you need about what's going on there so that the DM can properly run it. But then as you add in alternate plot hooks that, like, maybe they know more about the cemetery than another plot hook does. Well, when you go into the cemetery, that starts making use of the background information that your characters gained by taking this plot hook. But it doesn't change any of the usefulness of the information that's actually in the cemetery itself, for example. So, and each plot hook has different information that comes in handy during the adventure. So that's how that's structured. So each of these plot hooks has space for us to drop in illustrations. So that's currently what we're in the process of doing here. Is let's take the Council of 12. And then plot hook number 2, 8 are Academy requisitions. So let's take Dunk. And let's see, let's push that out of the way. Let's go to here. Draw this back. We can grab Rahid Malign. And we can duplicate that group and drop that group into Appendix 3. Plot hook there, and then the following pages in the same plot hook, it shows you your starting point. Act 1, Region 1, unique encounters, so where you start, and then the unique encounters that come along with each one of them. Yep, throughout the adventure, bump, 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 bump. Down into here, thump, 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 thump. Each of the areas that are specifically modified. So we have like the base information about like the officers' quarters, for example, that's in the underground facility where the spellcasters of the Emerald Claw take long rests. So the information about that inside the adventure, now these characters know specifically that they need teleportation stones to be able to reactivate the facility, which is what your major objective is, which is here. Once the characters enter this area, they can choose at any time to install the crystals. They have been provided and summon a risk management team, which is 5 veterans, CR3 each, dressed in black leather armor. This is the character's primary objective. They can choose to continue exploring the region, but once they restore the teleportation circle and use the sending stones to announce that it's active, see concluding the adventure below. That's your primary objective. There's a teleportation circle in the facility that's been shut down so that the Emerald Claws can have some privacy without any kind of overwatch. But the Council of 12 is their employer that's financing this operation. So when the Emerald Claw goes dark, the 12, which is a backstabbing evil organization of archmages, just assumes that they're being betrayed. So let's send in a Wetworks team to clean up the mess and replace them with people that are more reliable now that they've proven that the idea is viable. So they send your characters in sort of as scouts and an espionage team to sneak in and reactivate the teleportation circle once that's active, again, as we just read here. Then they send in a combat team to start just killing everything. And your team can participate in that or not. But if something goes wrong and you're still there, you're held accountable because you're not supposed to be there. You're supposed to leave. But over the course of the adventure, your characters could decide that, there's some good people that are here that shouldn't get killed, like a bunch of villagers, for instance, that are being held hostage, that are going to be sacrificed to the ritual. Well, if you just perform blindly as the 12 wants, the 12 is just going to keep those people and sacrifice them. That goes in direct contrast, like say with a deputized plot hook, or the family and friends plot hook. If you're using the family and friends plot hook, the people that are being held hostage is, of course, your family and friends. So if you have if you have family and friends and you're planning on if you're planning on retiring here, and like maybe like you have a confluence of family and friends and the 12 plot hook, you could have a conflict where I can't betray my family. I'm going to have a big problem if I betray the 12, my employer. I have to make a decision about how to proceed. So that becomes a really fun plot. That becomes a really fun conflict that the characters can attempt to resolve if that's the type of adventure the team wants to have. And then we have Aether Academy requisitions, where you're hired by Aether Academy directly to recover the stolen artifact that was taken out of the Aether Academy archives to create this effect in the first place. So that becomes a plot hook for you. So let's duplicate this layer and drop this into Appendix 3 as well. There. Hey, done. Merge. Merge. There we go. You generally want to have things facing inward towards the page. Oops. Like that. But how does that stack up compared to here? Are they the same size? Not really. I had to make Wahid smaller to fit into the space that he has. So that means I want to reduce this as well to meet his size here. I'm just placing these initially just to see what the size is. I don't necessarily think, like, having environmental stuff and like background visuals would be a good idea instead of just their vignette just sitting there on a blank page. That's pretty dull. So right now we're just getting placement, figuring out where these are supposed to be at. We'll call this one 2. Call that hook 1. See, there's little spaces for all sorts of little additional illustrations that we can start filling in and inspire us to do stuff. So that's what we are. I'm gonna get this out of the way. Whoa, 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 whoa. No, do not save. There we go. Number 3. So let's go to number 3 over here. Let's grab, which one is number 3? Is that Church of the Silver Flame? Thank you. So Rumhelda Derica is a diviner for the Silver Flame, and she becomes aware that there's a new manifest zone in Karnath that is going to cause trouble. So your team is plane shifted in to destroy the artifact and anyone that is powerful enough to actually be able to create one. So you're on a kill mission here from the Silver Flame. You're basically holy assassins. Assassin Creed, perhaps. Free transform. Flip horizontal. Here's plot hook 4. See, there's a different space here, and that's potentially causing trouble. So I'm probably going to have to reorganize this a little bit. Story lore. Let's go to Scythe Solga, who is a diviner, or he's a dream druid for the gatekeepers, and in his dreams he sees that the manifest zone is being created and that the eye is there as its source that needs to be either destroyed or contained, which again can lead us to additional quests. Retransform. Let's reduce him down to about the same size as everyone else. There. And so here's a neat trick. See, we don't have enough space for him, so we're going to want to put him here. So that means I need to reorganize this. Do I have enough space for the bonus rewards, the bonus resources? And then the adventure rewards. I don't know if I have enough space or not, honestly. But I want to push this up to here, so it's occupying the same space. Good. And I want to take this. See, that's too big. See, it's dropping down below the border, so I can't do that. So instead, what I could do is perhaps this. I can scoot this over here. Rewards, and then starting point. There. So we've reorganized this information. And now Solgu sits here just nicely. Cool. So let's go to... We can close this now. And let's go back to our document and fix our page setup. We're looking at plot of 4. There, and then we can tell me timer. Now we can fix this. Two space, is that how that is? No, it's just one space. There. And then there. There. That's our new page setup. Basically how that's sitting right now. Something like that. That's about right. Then 5. Here we go. We can. I'm gonna get rid of that. Because I like what we have going on over here. Right. And here. There. I wanted to correct the lighting here because it's too highlighted. So I wanted to dull this down a little bit, get rid of that sheen. It's too bright of a sheen. She doesn't look very happy, huh? That's okay. Not everyone's happy here. Yeah, that cuts down on that shine because no one else here has like a really heavy gloss on them. I'm fine with our hair being lustrous, but it was too sharp of a highlight. It was a stronger contrast than basically any other character here on the page, so it was out of place. So that's how that got. That's why we had to make that adjustment. I'll just blend this in a little bit better. And he's got a little bit more shine on him than I want as well. So I'm going to dull that down just a smidge. I just want to dull the shine on his noodle. These guys look great, though. I love these illustrations. These guys are fun. Good, yeah. Just wanted to get a little bit of the shine off of his noggin. That feels a lot better now. Let's see. That's text. Maybe I don't need all that background. Maybe I just need this thing. Where to go? Nope. Duplicate into Appendix 3. Let's save here real quick while I have it. sits really nicely. But it's not, it's almost okay. Hold on. That sits really, really well. So I can ungroup here. We can add in more. Actually, there. Let's add another masking layer here. I don't know what your purpose is. I like doing the vignette drop away like that. Feels good. Make sure we're sitting inside the margins. Good. I don't know what that icon means. Indicates layer has advanced blending options. Oh, as in like a gradient fade, which we've already acknowledged. Cool. Let's blend that out a little bit more there, just to sink it in. Ungroup. Lock it up, lock it up. There we go. So something that we need to consider is the filigree on the page. Rahid, you're looking a little thin there, buddy. Maybe we expand on you a bit. Let me give you some gradient. it's evolving. It's neat. I like these gradient effects that we got going on. It's the fade. I like that. I think that's working overall for this piece. There we go. Like that. These layering, these masking layers are a lot like clouds, like Bob Ross. You know, you want to have like this nice little smooth gradient that flows from the blank of the page into the color of the character. It's just subtle blending, just little circles and little X's. That's what we do to make those things blend in. Same as his landscape wet on wet techniques. That's basically how I learned how to blend in Photoshop. It's just what I've always just like, that's the way to blend. There. So I stream 10 times per week, Monday through Friday in the mornings like this. And we do artwork for our lead project, and then on Tuesdays and Fridays, like yesterday at lunchtime, we do book design work. Yesterday we worked on color mana system and cleric subclasses using it. And then on Mondays and Thursday nights, I do design work like we did this last Monday on druids and bards. This Thursday we'll work on warlocks to finish out the full 13 set of all classes. And this Thursday as well, I'll be participating in a Beckme adventure with Wally DM and How to RPG Fred Wheeler and a cast of other players. We've got 20,000 XP Beckme characters, which I think is going to be like 6th level, I want to say. 6th to 9th level, I think, depending on what your character. No, I think it's 5th through 8th, like an 8th level rogue or like a 5th level magic user, or like a 7th level like a 7th level cleric. I want to say 8th level fighter. I think that's how 20k XP breaks down in Beckme. But I don't know what kind of adventure it's going to be. We just build characters and then we mess around. And so we'll do that basically from 4:30 Pacific time tomorrow on Thursday until about 8 o'clock. No, I think it's till 7 o'clock. Yeah, I think it's typically 2.5, 3 hours. And then I'll take a smoke break and we'll jump on and, like I said, work on warlocks for the rest of the night. And then on Friday, we'll have lunch like usual. We might actually begin the spell list, rebuilding the spell list for 2024. That could be a lot of fun. Let's pencil that in as something to do. I'm going to apply the layer mask to Rahid. I don't think I need this space here. We can rebuild that. So let's go to... I was doing some fancy page layout, but we don't actually need it. So let's adjust accordingly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There. It's not actually important right now how this text lines up, just that it does. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Cool. Let's get rid of that. There. That's how the text actually sits, and that actually frames pretty well. I'm happy with that. I don't mind this white space being down here, but we do need to work on filigree. So we're gonna have to filigree is page filigree, or the framing on the page, like how the art sits. And I think what I want to do for that, I'm gonna drop that off the page. Let's stick around here. Let's see if we can start building out ideas about this. Let's go back to our document here, and let's go all the way back. Let's save here real quick while I'm thinking about it. Good. Pull all the way back up to here. We'll zoom in on our table of contents. So we got the adventure background, the factions, running the adventure, the technical bits of doing so, starting the adventure, part 1, 2, and 3. And we have appendix 1, 2, and 3, and then that's the end. I'm gonna have to rebuild this because I need space for the playtesters. We had a lot of playtesters this adventure, so I want to take time. We might be able to appreciation things to our playtest. I could have like over here things to our playtesters, and then list out everybody down here. That could work. Where are we at? 7:38. Yeah. So let's. We're going to start on the filigree and work our way through that. So we're looking at part 1, 2, and 3. So yeah, we're just going to start mucking around with design frame ideas down here. Because like for example, just to give you an idea of what it is that I'm thinking about, if we were to go over here and like say go to our Spelljammer Combat and Exploration book that we built on and published on DMsGuild here, right? So if we pluck this open here and look at the full page, here's our book cover. Let's zoom this back a bit. All right, so here's our book cover, and a neat trick that you can do is you can take these icons. See, I've got a normal arrow here, but when I'm on top of this button, I click it, and it takes us to the spellcasting chapter. This is the combat chapter. I could go to, boop, there. See, icon, matching icon. Go to the table of contents. Table of contents. So these icons are lining up and matching. Exploration, exploration. But see over here, you're in the spellcasting chapter, so the exploration icon isn't lit up. The spellcasting chapter is. Spellcasting. And then here in the combat chapter, so we can do cool things. We can do things like that. And so we would have like say, let's get this out of the way. So we've got table of contents, and we've got running the adventure. And we've got Appendix 1, 2, and 3. TOC. Running the adventure. Deputized, which is starting the adventure. Part 1, Part 2, Part 3, Appendix 1, Appendix 2, merge, Appendix 2, merge, Appendix 3. And then, so there's 3 parts, and there's 2 regions in part 1, there's 4 regions in part 2, and there's only 1 region in part 3. And we have Appendix 1, 2, and 3. So, what we could do three. One, 2, 3, 4. And these aren't lined up, but that's not the point right now. Merge down, merge down. And then part 2, part 1 has 2 parts, has 2 regions. So 1, 2. Region A, Region B, A, B, C, D, and then part 3, and then Appendix 1, 2, and 3. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Holy shit. Okay, so there's 15 icons total that we can build out, and that means that we can have 5 icons per column. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, which means that when we build these, all we need to do is figure out how much space needs to be between each icon to make sure that they fit on the column. And not like A and B, they shouldn't be separated in part 1 here, but that would make it a weird spacing if we did. So I need to figure out how to have equal spacing between these 2 columns here and each of those each of the circles. But this can be a through line. Pardon the pun. We can have a literal through line. All of these. that spacing actually works. So now we have just a built-in navigation bar along the bottom. Whenever you click one of these things, it'll take you to that section specifically. So it's easy for you to be able to bounce around the document to find where you need to go and where you want to be. As an idea. But then we want to make things fancy. So let's call this bottom dots. Or we'll call them nav buttons. Nav buttons. Let's see, another layer here. No, let's just do it like this. Duplicate the layer. Retransform. Flip horizontal. Self-correct. Two, 1, 2. These together just to do it. So we can have this line basically halfway halfway mark there. There. So that centers up. Merge, and then we have it about halfway from the bottom, the most bottomest line of text and the actual edge of the page. That's about centered there. So that gives us a place for us to line up our circles on. That means that's too high, so we want to bring this down to here. We centered up with that. Yeah. Yeah, that's the bottomest row. Good. And guess this text has gone through some changes. That's cool. I don't mind changes in text. No changes in the weather, no changes in me. Let's go down to here. Like that. Good. What's important is I don't crowd the text. And I feel like currently the dots are crowding the text. I don't want the dots any smaller than that because they're a good size for navigation. But again, I can't have them, like, really, I can't have them interfering with the text. And if I were to drop the opacity on these things, merge. If I drop the opacity so it's not as glaring, it doesn't feel as invasive, I think. Let's just get these guys lined up. There's still some spacing issues, but we'll work those out. Get lined up there. You're still a little shy. Let's go up here. You. Just eyeballing it for now. Just taking a look at it. Doesn't have to be exact yet. We're just filling space, basically controlling the space by framing it to figure out where we want everything to sit. I like that being off. It feels right. It doesn't feel so bad. Line through. Okay, now that we're defining this outside border, we could do something. We could do something like trim, for example, page trim. It's not the proper term. Trim is technically a technical term, but we could do like on the cover, right? So let's go back here to the book cover. See, we have this trim that's running along the edges here to line up with this marking that we have on the Eberron. This is not the official Eberron trademark. This is a close mock of it, because I can't actually take the Eberron. I can't duplicate it perfectly and steal it. So I can approximate it. I can homage it. So, but we have this broken frame here that's common for the 3rd edition adventures that we would see for Eberron. So that's where I got that broken stonework sort of effect, which we could duplicate in the. Let's undo that. Hit save. Yeah, everybody looks intact. Okay, cool. I'm going to get rid of that page. We don't need it right now. Here. Yeah, see, we could do an entire line of the document like that with this with similar blocking that we have in the on the cover of the adventure. I basically run down and then fill in the gaps here at the bottom. Something like that. Just blip blop frame. Pretty good, Curdy. That's pretty good line work you're doing there, buddy. And if we do this, so if we had this frame, it would create a common language between the book cover and the interior, which isn't a bad idea. It's not a bad idea at all. We could even do something interesting like a separator here between the columns if I really wanted to. Oh, that's my cue to skidoo. I could do that. I don't think I want to break up because we're going to have illustrations that are going to be crossing borders. So I'm not sure if I want to do it that way. But I like this initial idea. This isn't a bad way to present the information. I kind of like that. But that's all the time I have for now. And we don't stream in the evenings or lunchtime on Wednesdays. It's the one day I don't do that. So, but then we also have a lunch stream, a brunch stream on Saturdays. So I'm going to be back tomorrow morning. We're going to continue playing around with this filigree. I'm going to develop this idea, this frame idea. So that's what we're going to be doing tomorrow. And God, I like this. This is cool. I really, really like this. And we'll see if we can come up with like little cool icons for the bottom row here, like for the appendix and all that stuff. We'll see if we can make like neat little symbols that we can utilize. And so that's where we're going to hit this for today. I'm going to press pause here. And we'll be back tomorrow morning to do that. We'll be back at in the afternoon for Beck Me Adventuring on tomorrow on Thursday. And then tomorrow night we'll be back for Color Mana Spell Point variant rules to develop the Warlock using mana. And Friday morning we'll be back continuing to work on filigree. And Friday lunchtime we'll be back finishing up the Warlock and I guess getting into the spell list, the 2024 spell list, to update the color mana language for that. So far so good, guys. We just keep plugging away at stuff, and tonight when I'm off screen and tomorrow when I'm off screen, I'll continue working on text development for the book to make sure that it reads as cleanly as possible. So I can see some really cool potential here. All right, cool. Thanks a lot, guys. Like, subscribe. Join my Discord. Check out the playtesting that we have going on for the Martial Power system and the Color Mana system variant rules. And hopefully I'll see you on the Discord or on the X Twitter platform or down in chat below in the future. So thanks a lot, guys. Laters.